gather around the radio, men, women, and children of all ages, for another Gobbet Opus. This is the Gobbet Opus 26, Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1, Line 55, from October 4th, 2008. Saw a bad case of tuberculosis today, as opposed, I guess, to a good case of TB. Bad for him, good for me. Multiple involved lobes of the lung, classic consumption, coughing up blood. Fortunately, he is from the Western Hemisphere, so I do not yet have to worry much about resistant TB. He should get better with antibiotics in time. Although he has no insurance, TB is one of those diseases that we take care of. People always act surprised when I mention that I saw a case of active tuberculosis, as they think it is a disease of the past, the killer of artists and musicians. I learned as I wrote this that W.C. Fields died of TB. The heck. Unfortunately, TB is alive and well in the world. It kills about 1.5 million people a year. 1/3 of the world's population has latent TB, and there's a person infected every second. And boy, is he pissed. The U.S. and Western Europe do not have much tuberculosis. It's been on the decline for decades. Most of the cases of TB are in the developing world and the third world. But I think of humans as surrounded by a sea of germs, and most of our energy output is to keep these germs from consuming us, which they all will eventually. I have the unproven idea that doctors die of their subspecialty, so I am certain to die of an infection. At least I'm glad I'm not an obstetrician. I've told my wife to cremate me immediately upon death, so the bacteria I have spent a lifetime killing do not get their chance to eat me. And the U.S. is like a person. We are an island of low infection rates for diseases that infect most of the world. Good nutrition, flush toilets, public health departments, and vaccines across the country have kept many infections at bay. But I wonder for how long. If you want to get good and anxious, read the books by Laurie Garrett. You'll want to pull the covers over your head and stay in bed. The problem with tuberculosis is that it is communicable. The method of spread is coughing, and in this country, no one ever worries about covering their cough. Turn your head and cough. Why turn your head? It doesn't make it any easier to find the hernia. You do it so the patient doesn't cough TB or some other infection on you. Every couple of years, we get a patient with active TB who has spent the prior months coughing on everyone they meet, potentially spreading tuberculosis. Coughing is an extremely efficient way to spread disease, along with sex. If someone coughs on you during sex, you're a dead man. The other problem with tuberculosis is resistance. The classic way you breed tuberculous resistance is to give intermittent and inadequate therapy for long periods of time, and that is just how TB is treated outside the West. In Portland, everybody with infectious TB gets directly observed therapy, so we can ensure that all the medications are taken. Not so in the rest of the world, where half of people who even get therapy for TB receive inadequate or intermittent therapy guaranteed to help the organisms develop resistance. The result? Worldwide, 20% of tuberculosis is multi-drug resistant. 2% are extremely drug-resistant, called XDR-TB after the X-Men, and I expect these numbers will only be getting worse. Most of these cases are in Korea, China, and the old Soviet Union. So if you visit one of those countries, as I keep saying, don't inhale. And now, out of the Mideast, come totally resistant to tuberculosis. They will come our way. They always do. Today, at least, I can still treat TB. Tomorrow, not so much. References of note for this podcast: Laurie Garrett, The Coming Plague, and A Betrayal of Trust. This ends another Gobbet Opus.